Is the one with ZJZ on that Tyrande. Meng has found his way onto Hanzo. Hugo on his classic Malthael. He is bringing out the Diablo, and Lies is bringing out the Cassia. They were able to defeat a Cassia comp from leftovers earlier on yesterday. Can they now turn it around and use the success for their own benefit?
The one did extremely well and definitely is putting China high up into that Group A here. The big question, of course, is still, can they follow that up here today on the second day of opening week with a few more victories? And against DIGNITAS, it is not going to be easy, but it would be amazing for them if they can get a map or even two here.
And with the fact that leftovers also lost just now to Heroes Hearth, currently the one, they're starting to look potentially pretty to make it out of this group. DIGNITAS are going to have to look to shut that down for the benefit of Europe in general. So far, small little scuffle at the start of the game, but no immediate kills.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Leftovers currently are very threatened by the Chinese team here, since at the beginning when people looked at Group A, most of them were thinking, okay, China might be one of the two teams not making it out of groups and expected leftovers to do really, really well. But so far, that hasn't really been the case. And now leftovers really have to look, okay, who do we still face? Where can we get points? And who can we actually beat in the standings? And if the one is starting to pick up maps against tough opponents now here on the second day, then their hopes would all of a sudden be just down the drain.
The one doing something they've done consistently throughout HGC China, picking up the support camp incredibly quickly. And due to the fact that it is a predictable rotation where most teams will start off with their fortification camp, DIGNITAS, though, they scouted it out incredibly quickly, decided to let it go. They feel more comfortable. They don't want to take those early game fights, it seems.
Yeah, they are also in a situation where the combination between Diablo and Tyrande can just do so well to snipe a target. So it's oftentimes the question, do we really want to fight into this? But DIGNITAS is invading the camp now and is trying to find a kill here. They're a bit too late to stop Hugo from claiming the turret. But outside of that, DIGNITAS is still with a bit of pressure on their own.
It was nice to see the fact that they gave up the support camp. They tried to gain value elsewhere, but the one, despite losing most of He's health, were able to back out with the prize. And now we see Snitch rotating back, not missing a single minion in this lane. So a very solid rotation from DIGNITAS. Now they're looking to grab some experience with a quick snipe there onto Hugo. Hugo, though, does drop the turret.
Fantastic collapse, and also eliminating one of the items, of course, in the hands of the one. So great play here by DIGNITAS. For the one, what I'm really looking to is this combo that we mentioned earlier between Diablo and Tyrande. It's a combo of old that we've seen years ago already coming into Heroes of the Storm, where Tyrande tries to follow up on Diablo's engage, and then the idea is to burst the target away. And that combo has been coming back, especially now in Phase 2. One of the surprising things was, though, that a lot of the teams do not seem to have that synergy anymore where you can just get these reliable follow-ups. It's been made way more difficult for them, so I want to see if the Chinese team is able to execute that properly.
Roller ceiling comes out, get 3 heroes. Nicely done as JPL tries to bait a couple shots here. We're also seeing from Hanzo the explosive arrow, not going with the starting to become quite popular ignore all distractions, purely for this control point where Hanzo can basically sit in the middle lane, hit the minion, turn around, hit a hero, hit a minion, hit a hero with a huge range and safety. But here's the combo, as you just said, and Snitch gets taken out.
Great follow-up here by the one. They get the kill. It was an important one. And as you said, it's exactly that combo. And it was a great execution that we saw here. Diablo with the engage, Tyrande's follow-up was there, and then Cassia immediately on the target, delivering most of the damage, which led eventually to the kill here. Snitch, of course, very low on HP here on Junkrat in general, and that's something that the one could capitalize on. Now taking the early lead on the objective and pressuring DIGNITAS on a map where they excel.
But DIGNITAS, they have more members here, with Hanzo currently dealing with the mercenary camp in the top lane. DIGNITAS are able to drive back the one due to their numbers advantage. Hanzo, though, will be able to rotate quickly. They have 7 for a tiny window, but it's not enough to make anything happen. DIGNITAS, hitting their level 7, take the opportunity to grab a camp.
It's a really good rotation, and this is actually something that happened earlier, because the one committed this early. Oh, another attempt to go for the kill. Snitch goes down again. 0-2 already on Snitch here. Great performance, because this was actually a dangerous moment for the one. And I'm quickly going to talk about why. Dignitas committed very early in the game to the turret, and that allowed them to, during the objective, pick up another turret. They just moved away, wanted to re-engage onto the objective with an item advantage that the one couldn't have because their own turret camp wasn't even up at the time. But that second kill against Snitch was just absolutely perfect. It secures the protector, and now the one have an opportunity to prep objective 2 on the top lane.
Yeah, they got the burst, they got the follow-up. Nicely done. They're even going to try and dive Poik here, but that armor coming in from his level 4 is too much, and they're not able to finish him off. But like we said, the one, they're so all in on this strategy in the early game, with the Malevolence as well coming in from Diablo for even more burst here. If Snitch doesn't start positioning himself a little further back, he might just continue to be the target.
Yeah, and this is a strategy that oftentimes snowballs. If you are on Volskaya Foundry and you dominate the early game, you will see a big advantage from objective to objective. Dignitas has to play around that, and it is not going to be easy. You look at experience. The one is already a level ahead and will very likely approach objective number 2 with a level 13 talent advantage, at least initially.
And we see yet another biotic emitter, the support camp being taken out by the one. Scroller Ceiling will spot this, but again, Dignitas choosing not to fight. JPL already porting back, but that's now double biotic emitters being held by the one.
And a very likely scenario that we're going to run into now is that Dignitas will have to let the objective at the top lane go for some time, tries to get level 13 in the process. That's normally what we're running into, and then we'll have to fight into an opponent that has not only a level advantage, but also more items than Dignitas. The one, on the other hand, are already trying to play aggressive around their level 10. So up to level 13, there's still a bit of a window, and the one are attempting to use that with the early heroic ability that they claimed.
You say play aggressive. Dragon Arrow Apocalypse. A classic combo returning here. Valkyrie even coming in from Lies. Here's the Shadowstalk invisible Diablo engage.
Yeah, I like the attempt here. They go for JPL. The stun is not hitting, but it's not even needed. Sanctification to negate the last rites. The level 10 comes just in time. Great reaction here from Dignitas, but that was close. The one nearly grabbing a kill.
A couple inches to the right. A beautiful concussion mine, and Snitch makes up for those 2 kills onto him with a sick double kill.
Immediately allowing the double kill here, and even before that, the one already dropping 1 biotic emitter. Even without those 2 kills, that was a favorable trade for Dignitas.
That was value.
But of course, getting the kill against
they made it over the wall.
Made it even better.
Lies very nearly getting himself in danger, but the quick multi-man blind is enough to dissuade Team Dignitas for the moment. But Dignitas, with such a lovely turnaround, they're now a little bit catching up in terms of experience. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that's fantastic for them. They will now enter the second objective phase on eye level, so they don't even have to play this game where they are always a step behind their opponent. This is great for them. The one had a huge advantage through that first protector and heading into that mid game, but now Dignitas can take these fights, they can go for these invades, they have the awareness of what's happening on the map, and they're trying to get another camp because of it. Fantastic position for Dignitas.
Dragon Arrow comes out, APOC follow-up, it is going to land, but the bunker going to protect most of the backliners as they begin moving forward. Wubby is attempting to get onto the backline of ZJZ, but he does pull back. Riptide is dropped and isn't going to get that much value, but they're still going to try and turn onto Heath.
They have Sanctification though. JPL gets taken out. The Sanctification got actually interrupted, and therefore the last rites goes through, and that's 2 kills against Dignitas. With Sanctification being interrupted, there was in this choke point just no point for, or no way for them to sustain themselves through. But initially, the area was actually great for a fight from Dignitas' perspective, but that interruption just was perfect from the one. That achieved so much for them.
The overextension, trying to chase that Tyrande, the positioning just wasn't in their favor. There were so many moments of brilliance from Dignitas, but like you said, that one interrupt on Sank is all that was needed.
I expected Dignitas to walk away after they only had to sacrifice a cooldown on the bunker against the Hanzo ult and also the Apocalypse from Diablo. There were a lot of tools that the one already used, and Dignitas could have gone and transitioned over to the top, but we're hoping to achieve a bit more down here. Now the one have the early level 13. Dignitas is about to pick it up themselves, but they also want the biotic emitter.
And the one they notice is happening, but it doesn't look like they really want to fight this. They just want as much percentage on this objective as possible. They're already up to 64 here.
Now Dignitas has of course the problem that they do not have a fountain at the top lane. The one can still retreat to their own fort and top up their health pools again. Dignitas on the other hand, they have the item advantage, so they are now trying to claim the spot and will try to hold it, but Malthael is making the rotation topside as the one is aiming for the big team fight.
Malthael has a single stack on his last right, so not going to be huge cooldown reduction at the moment, but it is off cooldown at the moment, so he's going to be ready for that burst if they catch anyone out of position.
Sanctification and Bunker are going to be so important here, playing around the last rights. So this is where the one have to play this very cautiously. Dignitas on the point is waiting for them to engage here. Snitch with a low hit point pool also has to be very careful about Diablo here, as he is looking for the engage.
Hugo wraps around, there's the invisibility, but he was caught in the steel trap of Junkrat. Snitch in full retreat. He will escape. Tyrande stun not landing, and Wobby doesn't land the stun onto life. They turn around, but there is the bunker for the first sustain, but Sank used as well.
Sanctification already used. Hugo on the other hand is low. It's coming in from the side again as Hyperion is getting some value. Last strike being used here too. No death just yet as the one is moving back to tap off again at the fountain and re-engage into the team fight.
Dignitas can't do that. They have no fountain here, as you mentioned earlier, but the Protector is still picked up by Dignitas. He might have overextended here. Scroll of Sealing will land, and he will get taken out. Ripped souls, and Lies actually not a good position here. Will almost certainly go down too.
Double kill achieved, and that was fantastic play by Whoopi in particular, because Diablo was trying to get onto the point to prevent the Protector of ending up in the hands of Dignitas, but then the jet propulsion stops him cold and he just cannot enter the point quickly enough, which allows Dignitas to grab the Protector, turn it around, take Diablo down and follow it up with a second kill against Cassia.
That move has also taken a man down. Malthael rotated to mid lane to soak experience. And as such, the team still decided to move onto the point, interrupted, as you perfectly said, by Wobby, but that was still an interesting decision.
Yeah, initially, the fight actually started off well for the one. They made sure that they split Junkrat from the rest of the team. Malthael chased a bit, and they were trying to turn around in a 5 versus 4. The tap on the fountain also great, but it came just a second too late. They couldn't go back to the objective in time to still contest the point. And now Dignitas with a level 16, half a level advantage, getting not only the fort at the top lane, but they also destroy the mid lane, focusing their attention to the bottom of the map where we will see the next objective spawn.
It's a big deal, moving down here, going to take out the turrets initially. They finally lose the Protector though, so as such the Fountain and the second turret will currently survive. And we will see Dignitas pulling them back, not wanting to get themselves caught out. Malthael has still been split soaking during all of this, and as such, 16 is achieved by the one, but they are still over half a level behind.
Dignitas definitely finding their rhythm here a bit. The call of God at the beginning of the game, the one definitely very aggressive and willing to fight. I would argue that the one could, after the initial lead, even have played this a bit slower and not try and go for another engage with the Shadowstalk Diablo that we saw. If they played this just slow and focus on controlling the map, they would have had a bit of a better advantage heading into the second objective. But Dignitas then turning this around, taking the team fight, and now playing on eye level with the one as we again see the Shadowstalk.
Hugo's holding on the point. Here comes the APOC. It does stun Tyrael, but Sank was not dropped. It wasn't even put on the cooldown, and with the concussion mine, the one need to disengage, and that is what they will do. Riptide will get a little bit of damage off, but everyone will survive.
17 versus 16 now. Dignitas still with the lead, and they have the items. They have the biotic emitter, 2 turrets as well. Great start for them, and already setting up a bit around the turret position now on the one, trying to also snipe that fountain, and that's an easy pickup.
Very nicely done, even putting a slow on the conveyor belt to slow down the rotation of the one. Just great move after great move from Dignitas. Their little early game shakes we just saw are nowhere to be seen now.
Still impressed by the one, I have to admit it. I've been very, very critical of China in the past, and I'm very positively surprised by how they present themselves. Another aggressive play here. The bunker is saving them for now, but a great engage by the one. But now he is a bit too far out.
He might live.
Saved by Snitch.
He lived! Yeah, the concussion mine, he sent a couple more grenades afterward. Lies in trouble, in full retreat, getting chased out. JPL eats so much damage, but Lies able to tank through it. The one holding on by the skin of their teeth.
I like the way that the one presents themselves at this tournament. It's very refreshing to see that China, for once, is not just a punching bag, but actually is in a position where they are threatening to kick one of the teams out of the group here, where they're going up against the top seed in Europe and trade evenly in fights. This is really cool to see. I love this.
They're still less than a level behind in experience. Sorry, less than half a level behind in experience. They're keeping up, and this is brilliant to see. Like you said, many people, due to their performance at the Eastern Clash and at Mid-Season Brawl, would not have looked at China and said this is something that could be done.
So far, Dignitas still the one who have the advantage in the item department, which is going to be very crucial heading into this third objective. Another attempt at the Valkyrie, but this time no target has been hit, and the rotations are on their way. Already another camp being taken by Junkrat and Blaze, and that will drop a third turret into the hands of Dignitas, as they have a massive item advantage, as we just now see the control point towards the bottom lane spawn.
Hugo split soaking is absolutely what's been keeping the one in this game. You see Snitch realizing Malthael's not rotating the top lane. He's going to help his team and needed to move, already rotating down himself. Hugo taking a very long rotation though, trying to deny some vision, but finally is going to show on the map.
Once again, the one who's going to look for that engage with Diablo. The follow-up of Tyrande. CJ is already there. Poi getting poked a little bit. Wooby with the jet propulsion, missing it. Not a successful hit by him.
They hold it together, but he has eaten so much poke damage. Tyrande needs to get in range, get some auto attacks off to get that healing output.
Massive item advantage for Dignitas. They have so many turrets, and if at any point
Valkyrie
go in here, here comes the Valkyrie, and
gone.
Poi goes down. A great kill by the one. 5 versus 4 for them, but he goes down as Junkrat immediately reacts with a counter kill.
Hugo's trying to distract on the back line. The Lornado coming out. Hugo's actually going to be able to pull back from this, but lies. He's getting so much healing from that ring of the leech. He tanked through the counter attempt.
JBL.
That is going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
JBL nearly fell here, but now the one is in that weird spot where they do not have a fountain. They can just move back, just tap back off, and it can now re-engage into the fight. It's exactly what JPL is doing here.
Wobby's looking for that group up. There's so many opportunities. First turret is dropped. Hugo is not in a nice position here. He's trying to dodge the damage. Tyrande's desperately trying to heal on cooldown.
He has 2 stacks on his last right, but there goes the kill against Malthael. He falls as JPL delivers the final blow, and that forces the one back. Bad position for them now. Dignitas already moving in, closing in on the 20, and also trying to get that third protector. A fantastic position for the European team. But can they really end with this? The one have a great reaction, immediately focusing on a healing beat top side.
They know they're going to be fighting into a level 20. They know that Dignitas will be pushing bot with this protector and almost certainly getting a keep due to that level 20. So what do? They grab experience and they grab protection. The way to survive and try and drive back that protector, but Holy Arena online now. There's so, and the bottomless flasks. Dignitas could go for an end hit.
Exactly, especially with Tyrael. If you have the Tyrael and also Blaze in this setup with a Holy Arena here, you have the chance to go for the core, and that's something that the one has to be very aware of, especially with a Hyperion. Already the pressure on the keep itself is about to fall. The one still waiting for the 20. They don't have the Storm Talents yet, and here comes Dignitas.
The root does not land onto ZJZ, able to pull back. Meg dropped them so close to level 20, pushing that top lane. Shadowstorm is being used. There's the Valkyrie, and a quick blow up onto Raider. Can they hold this? They're looking for Zalia as well. They get him!
Double kill against Dignitas, but they're still on the core. Their shields are gone. They're trying to make the play, but Wooby falls, and I don't think Dignitas can pull this off. Even with the Holy Arena, they're dropping it already, but that's not going to be enough. The Tyrael explosion is going to take a couple more % off, but there's Junkrat. He's down, and that's just not enough.
Tyrael's just leaving. He wants nothing to do with this. They're just letting him go at this point. The one need to make something out of this. They're just going to let JPL live here just to try and get some pressure on the other side of the map.
Nani?
I know, what? They could have easily killed him, but in this case, they're just going to let him live, run across. Oh my god, are they going for a keep?
I expected the stagger death, and obviously they want to try and get something. Yeah, they will try and go for the keep here. I still expected them to try and at least delay JPL.
Oh my god, they're trying to end? Oh my god, they're trying to end! They're going to take down the keep super fast. JPL dives in for some harassment. We're going to see that keep go down. 5 seconds left on Raider, 6 on Deckard. The one! What are you doing? This is insane! But Emily is so crazy, it just might work.
Here comes the Hyperion. Hugo goes down already. The shields are gone. The core is falling. But Dignitas is back with them. Only Junkrat is missing. The jet propulsion doesn't hit. They go for Meng, and he goes down, flamethrower into the ground.
They're done.
That is the end of the core attempt of the one.
That seems like overkill. He died anyway, just to a minion. The core survives on 57 HP, and we see 57%
DIGNITAS
as the one.
Goes across the map here now. The catapults are already massing up on the bottom right, and the one just putting everything on one single card here, and then YOLOing the Malthael straight into his death. And DIGNITAS, of course, is taking that opportunity now to end the game. The only survivor here is Diablo. He's trying to at least get rid of the catapults, but with 68% on the core and Holy Arena, that's no way.
Diablo goes down, Holy Arena for the extra damage, and that is a solid GG from DIGNITAS. But it was by no means easy.
No, it wasn't easy, but I can't help but look at this and ask myself, why?
I don't know.
It
was such a risky play.
You defend, you can get an easy keep. Maybe you can even try and go for a double keep here.
Keep and back up would have been fine.
And then you are on 20 versus 20. That attempt to go for the core here was very, very optimistic. And I cannot help but think that if the one just moves back after taking 1 or 2 keeps, they have a very good chance approaching the next objective, looking for the team fight. And they had so far great engages against Reyna in particular, or against Junker, blowing them up. If they are successful with that in another team fight again, all of a sudden, the game is theirs.
I am completely with you, but let's hear what our analysts have to say about that absolutely close game.
Well, the one lose one, but it was pushed to the limits versus Team DIGNITAS. And you know who else pushed another strong team to the limit? Team Liquid, because they took a game off of Gen G. Gen G and Team Liquid went 1-1 in their match. I guess gods can bleed. For reals though, I just want to bring it back. Like, there were times early on, Snitch got picked. There were times the Valkyrie and the APOC, when that started going down, Raynor was gone. Blasted down before Sanctification could hit. And there were times when like Lunar Flare and Valkyrie weren't quite in connection. I really think if the one can clean up those kinds of things, they could take games off of anybody.
Yeah, the ending of that series, I think, overshadowed a little bit of what was happening between the early and the mid game. Because you look at it, and the one was actually hanging toe-to-toe against DIGNITAS, finding kills. I mean, at one point, it was 7 kills to 5. Those Valkyries finding the Raynor, picking them off against a Sanctification bunker composition is hard to pull off, and yet the one was able to do it multiple times. We did get into the weird late game scenario when you're going for a core rush with a Malthael, Cassia, and a Hanzo, which I can understand the mentality behind it, but you really got to look at your composition before you go for that type of play.
I definitely understand that it comes off as like such a high risk, high reward, and at the end of the day, I think everybody looks at it and goes, it's very, very, very low probability of this succeeding. But I do want to raise the counterpoint on the other side. If you look at the fact that the core was at 68%, I believe, on the side of the one, much like the one had the worst sieging composition in the world, DIGNITAS had debatably the best. You have Raynor, Bunker, Sanctification. 60%, I legitimately fear nothing. I will walk myself. I'll send an invitation. I'm coming through your bot lane. Try and stop me is how I feel about it. So I think it was so low that I like that they were willing to take that, even though from beginning to end it was like,
yeah, the Holy Arena, Hyperion, what can you do, really, versus that?
I mean, at the same time, you have 2 major engagers that you can try to force a fight before they even get towards your keep, and you have that open space. You have a Dragon's Arrow to say, okay, Tiro, you want to go? I'm going to force you Sanctification now, and you're going to win the team fight, or you have to back away. Because if you don't have that Sanctification, you're not getting on my core. And then if you don't have that for the control point, suddenly we got a ball game. I actually would have preferred a little bit more of a defensive play and more aggressive heroics use there from the one, instead of allowing that core rush thing to happen.
Well, I'm hopeful that we still see as strong of the one in the next game, because in previous series that went 1-1, they would win one game, but then the second game was a complete stomp. This was not the case. They didn't win, but they had many chances to be able to do so. So let's hear a quick word from our sponsors when we come back, Game 2.
The 2018 HGC Finals are brought to you in part by Republic of Gamers, Corsair, T-Mobile, Samsung SSD, and NVIDIA.
The one put up such a fight versus Team DIGNITAS in Game 1. Let's see what they can bring on their own battleground choice in Game 2. What are we feeling for the one?
Illidan.
Yeah.
I think anything without macro is going to be the biggest thing for the one. In my mind, it's being able to fall behind when it comes to the rotation, things of the like. But they stopped that on Sky Foundry, which is probably one of the better battlegrounds to have that kind of play style here. but going with the Infernal Shrine.
I do want to raise, though, that the One are sort of one of the macro teams in China, right? Like, it's not BTG, it's not the deathballing team, so as long as they're going in, you're not going to out-macro Dignitas, right? But as long as you can give yourself ample opportunities to fight, maybe that's the way they're putting at it. And Infernal Shrines gives them those points to fight, as long as Dig are willing to fight them on the Shrines.
At the same time, I'm looking at this battleground, I mentioned Illidan, but gosh, give me a Kerrigan on this. I would love to see the One run a Kerrigan composition. I think they have the ability to force fights as they want and secure kills as quickly as possible. With any follow-up, Lies is destroying on that backline there. For coming in here and being the range for the team. The sub is fitting in naturally. He's not even looking at sub most of the time.
Or not.
Yeah, taking off the table already there with the first ban. And, you know, at the same page, with some of the signs of success we got of the One in the last game, I think, again, looking at Dignitas in the draft, how squishy of a hero is Point going to be on, and can the One capitalize on that? Because I do think that that has been, again, when Dignitas looks their weakest, it's finding ways to catch him off guard, like we saw the Cassia over the last round there. The Maiev being removed here by the One, understandably so. Pretty powerful hero.
Dignitas is not playing around with the Genji. His second ban comes in once again. After seeing the One play Genji yesterday, I can see why. Don't want to deal with that dive into the backline that we got consistently, especially paired well with the Jaina.
No Warriors yet in bans. This is a good map for Diablo. We've seen a lot of Garrosh. We're also seeing a rise in Tyrael. And which teams are willing to play him. It feels like it was something that happened maybe in the boot camps for Dignitas when they were playing with Korean teams, because it's mostly been Dignitas and the Korean teams. Though, Mindfreak played it earlier today. Dig first picked that Diablo, though. As I said, there's a lot of walls to throw people against.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, actually. I feel like you look at our ban patterns the last day or so, and we actually haven't had too many Warriors being banned as much as I thought we would. There's a 3 that are currently standing at the top that really do well, and they have that rotation, but there's a lot of Assassins that have been recently changed right now that are starting to fit well into the meta, and so suddenly you're getting these top-tier tanks once again. But another top-tier support on this battleground.
That's an early Alexstrasza. Is there a worry about a lot of counters there? I mean, there's already Diablo. You can Lightning Breath, you can try to force people off at the point.
Junkrat's really good on the battleground, pretty much direct counters. I mean, for anybody who's watched me commentate any part of the world, I struggle to support Alexstrasza. I think she is subpar almost across the board when it comes to supporting, especially with heroes like Whitemane being available on this battleground. Yes, it does kind of accent certain parts of the battleground and the shrine itself, but you don't always have to commit to that skirmish on the objective itself, and that is why it's a bold move here. I would like to see something to really heavily pair with the opportunity for the Cleansing Flame from above. So a dive target with it, make sure it gets on the backline of Dignitas, especially knowing they have a Hanzo Tyrande, and trying to find a way to get a kill that way. Otherwise, I feel like that high of an Alexstrasza is going to be something we look at the end of this game and go, that might be part of the problem.
Well, with maybe no Tyrael, I guess we could potentially still see as a secondary tank for Dignitas. Now, Blaze taken away. They are at least hoping that this time there won't be some of the saving factors that Dignitas had in the same way.
Yeah, you look at Dignitas and they have 2 things they can flex into here. You have your Rel and you also have the Dahaka, which I think we might get the Dahaka a little bit more here. The point that Dread brought up is that you can play around that Shrine phase and play around that Dragon cooldown if you really want to. One thing that Dignitas does really well in Europe is whenever they're playing against an Alexstrasza, they'll fake that they want to fight around the Shrine, and the moment that Dragon Queen gets popped up, they'll split out and make sure to fight around the entire map instead of focusing forward.
What about Leo? Any potential there?
I think Leo has a lot of room in this meta right now, but Wubby himself does not like Leo. But the One likes Leo.
Yeah, this could be, again, for anybody who didn't tune into the games yesterday or doesn't watch much of China, but March of the Black King, a very common selection there for the Heroic on the side of the Leo. In this type of situation, I don't know whether or not I feel like I would like to see that over any of the others. Have to see the rest of the composition coming out from Dig, but so far, Dig has a very synergistic, overall, objectively powerful composition and provides a lot of threat to a Leo. One mark, it pretty much threatens every ounce of him, especially post-4 with the Tyrande pick up there, and gets a little bit more grim there, and the fact that Gul'dan also thrives into the matchup of a Leo.
Been watching more of the One with that March of the Black King, and while I enjoy Entomb way more, I think I understand it from the way that they play the game. They let Leo do whatever he wants to. Just let him get in the back line. If he's in trouble, dot March back Black King. Just buy time, and March will do that for you. So I can understand the mentality behind it, and it's actually pretty darn strong if you're going toward the Shrine fight and you get to the last couple of seconds of trying to clear up those minions. Here comes the Greymane for that dive that you were looking for earlier.
It does provide a little bit of that dive, but it's really interesting. Like, I would not commit to an Alexstrasza in my 1-2, and I know I'm more of the, I would almost never like kind of do that to my thought process, but it's mainly we're worried about well, if you pick the Alexstrasza, it's about do they commit to the Shrine, do they not? But then you're the one committing to the Greymane, and so suddenly it's like, well, then why'd you get the Alex if it was like win the Shrine, win the fight itself? Yeah, Greymane, you can make the argument synergizes a little bit with the siege capabilities afterwards, but to me, that feels, didn't have enough all in, but doesn't have enough Shrine control either. It feels kind of mixed all over the place here.
Before we get into this game and break down the draft potentially more with the casters, we can actually show you a bit of the game that Team Liquid won versus Gen G. When I was talking to Sake earlier today, he said Team Liquid is very strong, and there's a really cool combo that they set up here using their Jaina.
Ooh, the Nurok with a great follow-up there with the scroll, and Arcaner finding multiple kills here in the early game.
It's a really big setback to start on Tomb of the Spider Queen down a wave clear composition and losing 2 kills on the first wave. Team Liquid coming out strong.
Sake, that's not going to be a place that Decker King wants to be. He's living for a long time, though.
That early game, man, seems like just giving Genji was not the call there as another pick, wow, over the wall. Team Liquid just seems to have brought the aggression here, and they're one of those teams that you don't know if they're going to bring out this fight in the early game, but they are capable of doing it.
Oh,
my.
Wow.
Oh, my.
Sign this kid up. My goodness, that was beautiful.
And the Goomba Stomp.
And what's crazy, look at this. The experience is actually still pretty close to the late game.
Yeah, it should be noted that that's a lot of the macro out of Gen G with their composition, I feel like here. That the Junkrat specifically ring across
there it is again.
Stay a while.
Stay for forever.
Oh, they even had catapult pressure in the top lane too. Are they going to force a fight in the bottom and the catapults just win the game? Is that how it's going down? Yeah, look at the core, it's falling.
They've already killed Blaze, there's no Blaze there.
Webweaver, ignore that. Move in.
You just go core here, right? You just push in.
Yeah, bunker alone is enough damage. They don't have to, they just got to make it in.
Yeah, just run. Arcaner needs to split strike in, get on top of that core, it's down to 28%.
Stay. Not going to hit that many. Bunker down, flamethrowers out. GG, no re.
Wow.
Excellently done, and welcome Retribution, I feel, for Team Liquid. They were winning Game 1 versus Miracle heavily yesterday, and then the Towers of Doom come back that you know and love or fear. So that's a great win for Team Liquid, and gives us a lot of questions about Gen G in the future. But now we're ready for Game 2 between Team Dignitas and the One. Let's see if the One can get another 1-1.
I am standing next to a very happy German right now after seeing
I don't know what
that
you're talking
clip.
about.
I don't know either.
The German efficiency at work.
It's great to see Team Liquid coming online. Suddenly, that group becomes even more stressful now. We'll see if they can continue it in their future matchups. But for now, also looking for a bit of retribution, we are preparing for game number 2.
I'm not going to lie here. I really think that Dignitas is going to walk away with a very decisive victory on that second map. Looking at these drafts, despite everything that the One threw at Dig in Game 1, I think these compositions are incredibly powerful for Dignitas and will favor their playstyle. JPL on the Diablo at that front line here in Game number 2. We see Whoopi on Urel, Poik on Gul'dan, and you have Snitch on Hanzo, favorite for them on this battleground, and Zelia for the combo is playing Tyrande. Dignitas with a fantastic draft from their perspective.
And the One, they do have a couple comfort picks themselves. ZJZ on the Alexstrasza, Meng on the Greymane, Hugo on one of his favorites, the Leoric, and Hihi with that Garrosh. Lies is filling in with the Reyna for that damage follow-up. They have a couple comfort picks, but like you said, this Dignitas draft is scary. Navi's going to be looking at this and he's going to be real happy.
Yeah, the One walked away in game number 1 with a very streamlined composition that they executed quite nicely, where the entire idea of the draft was, let's kill people, let's get a good engage with Diablo, let's set some stuns up and then follow it up with Burst. They executed that against Junkrat and Reyna multiple times and worked really well around this. Now they're missing that to an extent, and Dignitas has exactly that combo available for themselves. They have additional sustain throughout Urel, and I feel once we are getting to those Shrine fights, and especially after level 10, this is going to be a pretty one-sided game. I would be happy to be proven wrong here, but Dignitas is already starting the game off with a quick kill against Leoric at the top lane.
Yeah, following through on that Wraith Walk, perfect angle by JPL, quick pickup kill. Hugo, though, does just respawn in lane and picks up the XP where he left off, so doesn't actually lose that much here. But now Hihi is suffering a similar fate, getting chased down. Even Whoopi coming in for the assist. Lunar Flare and quick heals from Alexstrasza, though. We'll keep him alive for now, but Snitch, he's not done. Quick arrow to finish the kill.
Great play by Snitch here. Sidestep and then immediately getting the angle and they're
Oh
not
my
stopping.
God.
There's the next kill, and this is exactly what I talked about. Dignitas This is a great draft for them. This is exactly what they wanted. This is perfect for the map. They love these heroes on the map. The one just doesn't have the synergy they had in game number 1. And I would be shocked if the game at any point would change. What we've seen so far is exactly what I expect from Dignitas from here on out to the end.
Over half a level lead at 1 minute 40. That is very telling of how this is going. And we will see if Dignitas can just keep composed. That's all they have to do.
Also, they took out the fountain in the mid lane. A pretty neat trick that you can aim for. First of all, you know where it's positioned, so you can already poke away with Gul'dan against it and also with Hanzo. But once you take the camp, you try to provide a bit of vision, and those Khazras are just going to attack the fountain over the wall slightly, and then you just finish the job. So in this case, Dignitas has everything set up already. The lead in experience, the early kills, the dominance on the map, and already prepping the mid lane.
We're going to see the one trying to respond with a Paler camp of their own in the bot lane. And then they'll have to rotate up to mid to clean out the one that Dignitas took earlier. But this just gives a couple more corruption stacks over to Gul'dan.
The one thing that the one is going to try and do is, again, aim for plays around the Warlord's challenge. This is something that they played against Leftovers, and they're going to try and make similar plays against Dignitas here. Put Hihi into good position, trying to allow him to walk up, get the taunt in, and then follow it up with Greymane damage and also Reyna chipping in. This is where Dignitas has to be careful. But one of the reasons why I really feel that Dignitas will, throughout the game, just still hold on to that advantage is that with Tyrande, unless she's the target, they still have that double cleanse on the level 1. So once that comes in, you can taunt all you want, but you shouldn't be able to get into a position where you can just insta-burst targets like the one did against Leftovers.
I loved that play just then from Snitch, where if Hugo had finished his Wraithwalk a second earlier, would have eaten the full scatter arrow and would have certainly died. But now the one looking to make a play pre-level 7, trying to start to get some kills on the board. Instead, Hugo is in a similar scenario and is going to get taken down once again.
Leoric down already, 5 versus 4. Of course, he's going to be back soon, but Dignitas is focusing on the objective now. Taking the early lead, he wants a level 7 as well, indeed. But here comes the Dragon Queen.
That's going to be good. Hihi is going to get the healing from the abundance here. Hugo respawns, looking for the slogan and try and turn this round onto JPL. Wubby eats the wind buff. It is getting forced away and might actually have bitten off Mortney here. Wubby dropping low and taken out, but the counter kill against Hihi.
Counter kill is there, and they still have the massive lead when it comes to the objective. So they can move in with especially Gul'dan and Hanzo and secure those final minions that they need there. Could even try and delay it a little bit for Wubby to make his way over, but they grab it right away and are making their way towards the right with the level 7 talent advantage, trying to break through the wall.
And this is great. As much as Wubby would be nice, it makes more sense for him to head into the solo lane and keep soaking. And they know the biggest punishing hero in the form of Garrosh is not here for the one, so they can afford to push more aggressively at the start here. And that is exactly what we see them doing, marching onto this first fort of the game.
And look how scared the one is. They are terrified. They do not want the Punisher to jump on one of them and stun him out because they know that Xaylia is going to be there. He will follow that up. Wubby now is the target of attention that we're seeing here at the bot lane, but right now Dignitas get an easy kill at the fort at the top. They have more than a level lead. They are looking fantastic here despite that one counter kill we saw from the one.
Hugo Wraithwalk, usually considered to be a bit of a safer ability here, but in this case he's just eating most of his health bar and nearly dying every time.
17 stacks already on Gul'dan's Echo Corruption on level 1. We still have JPL with a full stack of souls, and now the camps are taken once more. Dignitas on level 9 looking for the 10. This is a great start in the game for them. The one will have to somehow find these kills after level 10. This is really the big goal for them right now. Just like try and play around the second objective, grab the experience, split onto the maps, wait for heroics, and then try and make the play, and try to not die up to that moment.
Level 10 is just about to be hit by Dignitas, taking down another fort in the timing. Meng nearly dying. He hovers around for the abundance, but that is an interesting animation, but we see Meng get taken out.
Yeah, and that's even before level 10. Now we have heroic abilities, but you can see how Dignitas is pushing with the advantage. They're saying, guys, we pressure past your fort. What you gonna do? You're gonna fight us at the fort? We don't care. We wait for the minion wave to move in, and then we're gonna destroy you with heroic abilities. And the one has to play around it. So Dignitas is just taking everything right now. They are dominant on the map at this point. JPL again looking for the target. They are just done with this. They're saying, game 1, way closer than we expected. The kill composition, you executed it well. This time we're going to draft a cleanse early. We are going to be the ones looking for the kills here, and you can see how they are bringing the fight.
They're even looking to weaken down this bottom lane, preparing for the next punish so they can move in and take down a keep. Leo is still split soaking for the one, trying to give them that level 10. But Dignitas, they are rushing level 13 at this point. They're almost at level 12.
Just look at the mid lane. The wave is again pushing into the fort. That's the last remaining fort of the one. They lost everything else. Top lane's gone, bot lane's gone. They're just waiting for the level 10 to finally have a chance of at least fighting back. But in the meantime, Dignitas isn't lazy. They're sitting there saying, we're taking everything you have and more.
There's level 12 for Dignitas, so they are approaching yet another talent tier advantage in 1 level's time. The one will finally hit their level 10, even grabbing a Fallen Shaman Camp as well for a little bit of split pressure. But it might be worth delaying this due to the fact the objective has yet to spawn. They decide not worth the risk. Dignitas could just walk into their side of the map and take it.
Yeah, Dignitas waits a little bit so that they have a better time clearing the camp and then can push with that. So they time the camp properly. And the one right now relying on heroic abilities and team fight to do anything here.
March coming in once again. Dread called it earlier. They do like this ability, and also there's a lot of heroes who can either escape or benefit from the Entomb on the side of Dignitas, Diablo and Hanzo especially.
Now, I am actually more so worried about the level 13 talent than anything else, since Dignitas has a chance of even hitting another talent advantage here as they're heading into the objective, at least midway through. The one will have to fight here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a bullet as well. They're already trying to go for JPL here. There's the flip. Is that the kill? And they need it. Lightning grab, the arrow, the triple, the kill. Garrosh is down.
ZJZ now in full retreat. He's on the run. He might just have to pop Cleansing Flame when it's off cooldown. No, he's going to pop the Dragon Queen. Going to try and turn this round. Hugo trying to be a distraction as Meng gets the abundance. Cleansing Flame coming out, but look at how split they are. It's basically a 2 versus 5 right now with Meng getting completely iced. Tries to chase Snitch, but can't keep up. Wobby's going to pick up the kill on Meng eventually. There we go with the avenging round.
And the Hyperion didn't do anything. And right now we have camps pushing on every lane. Alexstrasza goes down too. Kill after kill in the hands of Dignitas as they focus their attention towards the shrine to take another Punisher. 9 kills against 1, a 2-level lead already. They have the level 13 talent advantage, and this is Dignitas just showing dominance on the map, making a statement here in game number 2 against China.
The one, they move to top lane. They defend their lane at least for the moment, but now they need to defend their base. The already weakened tier 2 defense with a Punisher, with a level 13, about to be 14 Team Dignitas. The one, this is not looking good for them.
The game so far definitely was just the Dignitas show, and now they're coming for lunch money. Moving through the bot lane, trying to go for the first keep in the game, and maybe even more if they can find the kills. Their cooldowns are about to be ready. Watch for Hanzo, watch for that arrow. He's going to try and follow that up. There's already the first stun, and Zelia's also looking for a potential engage and follow-up.
Indomitable being burnt here. JBL's diving 3 deep. There's the lightning breath, but look at how grouped up they are, preparing maybe for the Horrify, which does land. And Wobby picks up an easy double kill under keep. And the rest of the one have nowhere to go and nowhere to live.
Make it a triple, baby. Down they go. Gul'dan is falling, but still, they can make the play for the corner as the Punisher moves in with another 37% health left. And this 10 minutes in could be the end of it, depending on the performance of Dignitas here. Death timers are low, though, and Dignitas might have to move away from this.
Hugo pulls the Punisher, gets a little bit of damage reduction. Meg is just waiting for the rest of his team. They're all about to respawn, but the core is beginning to tick down. Hyperion for the defense here. It's all or nothing for the one. The double stun from the Punisher, though, and Dignitas are looking healthy.
Once again, Dig goes in, and this is the end of it. The one goes down in game number 2 as Dignitas claims a flawless victory.
Much, much better in this game. As you said, Dignitas got everything they wanted, and they showed exactly why they are so strong with this kind of composition. 12